Well, hello there, all you amazing people. We're going to talk about Office Suites and LibreOffice, and I'm not going to react to the whole video. I'm just playing the intro because it's going to what is LibreOffice, switching tabs, blah blah blah, setting it up to what we are going to talk about is core storage. We'll listen to that in the conclusion. But before we go into that, comment, like, subscribe, go into Discord, put a video into the suggested box that you want me to react to or talk about, and etc. etc. It's evening, the northern part of the world, so it's dark. I was chilling with a little bit of game and someone posted this video in my channel, and I'm going to speak a lot because this is something that I have experience with both personally and professionally and have had experience with for over 20 years. Office Suites. Just the sake of this, or the whole notion of this video here, just from the title, Optimizing LibreOffice to work like Microsoft Office. The brilliant minds of Linux, and I really mean that sarcastically, they think that, and I've said this before, okay, people want a photo editor, let's make a carbon copy of Photoshop that is open source, because then people will use the open source because it costs no money and because it's open source. Personal use, probably. Business wise, they don't give a fuck. I'm sorry to say it. Businesses don't give a fuck about a license. They don't give a fuck about, if it's open or closed source. Developers do, but the majority of people in a business are not developers. This is maybe coming as a shock to you all. Most businesses don't even have developers employed. They have IT people employed. So they have infrastructure people, they have security people, they have people that just sit and install software all day and maintaining their Active Directory and stuff like that. It's not common for people or companies to actually have developers employed. Mind blown. So what people want, and this is why people like him, I've seen the first 2 minutes of the video, but this is why people like him and the Linux community just don't get this. Yes, for a home user or a 1 or 2 company employed, a company with 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 people, it kind of makes sense. It's not that big of a deal. But people don't buy Photoshop because it's the best photo editor. They don't buy Microsoft Office because it's a good office suite. They buy these massive software suites because it makes working as a team better. It makes, hiring people that know how to use them easier. If you want to hire someone that has no qualifications, you want a certain qualification, the easiest way to see if a person has that is via training, certification. I don't know if LibreOffice have that, they may have, I don't know. But a lot of big office suites do. So if you get like a yay stack of employees or potential employees sending CVs in, you can cut half of them away because they don't have the certification. Is that fair? No. Does that mean that the people without the certifications are not better than the ones with certification? No. They probably are better. But it's a really, really easy way to figure out how to employ people. If you're just doing it for college, it's not that big of a deal, okay? The other thing is the fact that you have to make a 9-minute video on how to get a software to kind of work. Let's think about it. Make it work like Microsoft Office. He says something about, if I remember correctly, the first part of it here, like maybe says that this in the intro, that LibreOffice has some shortcomings, and depending on distribution, you can have some visibility issues, and it can be hard to find layout, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of issues with LibreOffice that makes it non-intuitive and stuff like that. So he's basically showcasing you how to take an open source software and make it useful. This is actually what this should be. How to make, because he's saying optimizing, what he actually means is how to make LibreOffice useful. If you are making a product, and there needs to be a 9-minute video to make it useful, you're fucked up, okay? I'll probably have a lot more to say, so let's get into the video right away.
When it comes to finding a suitable alternative for Microsoft Office, LibreOffice is widely considered to be one, if not the best solution to take its place. And the best part, it also works on Linux. There are, however, a couple of
who cares if it works on Linux, but it's fine. Again, yeah.
Obstacles in the way of transitioning to this open source office suite. Differences in the user interface make it harder to find features.
Again, he talked about switching to open source. People care more about that it's free, like they don't have to pay for it, than the license. Most people that migrate over to open source or for software, They do it for a cost benefit. They don't do it because of the license. We need to get out of this way as a community in Linux that the license is the determinant factor why people are going to use something. For 99% of the humanity, the license is just toilet paper. They don't care. That piece of paper, they will print it out, or that license, they will print that out and wipe their ass with. They really don't give a fuck. The only people that are going to give a fuck are developers. People care about, can it replace what I have better, cheaper, and then I will use it. If not, no. If it's better, I may want to pay for it. If it's not better and it's free, I'm not going to change it.
If you're not used to it. File formats and cloud compatibility are a big question mark, and if you're using it on Linux, you are also sometimes confronted with visibility issues. So in today's video, I'm going to show you some of LibreOffice's many tools and settings that can ease your transition by not just making it look more like Microsoft Office, but also behave that way. So make sure to stick.
So, I don't know, is he saying that Microsoft Office is a better Office suite than LibreOffice, so that's why he wants to mimic it? It's hard to get your head around. I don't get, this is like trying to sell a turd. You're trying to help ease people's migration over to inferior product. Why do I say it's inferior product? Because you have to make a video like this. Let me step back a little bit. Almost no one, I know there's people out there, but I reframe, or everything is crooked today. Almost no one in today's age are using a standalone Office suite at home. Unless you are a student, well, probably not even those, but I can see it if you're a student or you are having a side hustle or stuff like that, or you're doing a small little project like you're making pamphlets for a bachelorette party or baby shower or something like that. Most people nowadays, and it's going to sound weird, even fucking, at least in Europe, they're using Google. They're using Google Drive, or I don't know what their Office suite are called. They're using online Office suites because they do enough for 99% of people. And if they don't use Google Docs or what it's called, they use Microsoft Office Online. But let's go into like the next big thing, like cloud storage optimization.
Does it. And you can nowadays also directly save to a cloud storage. Now the first method depends on your distribution and desktop environment.
So I'm already stopping here because it says you can save to a cloud storage. That's not why people save to a cloud storage, at least not professionally. They save to a cloud storage for a lot of reasons, but mostly because it makes it easier to be more people work on the same project.
On GNOME, for example, I can connect my Google account or OneDrive to directly access my documents. However, LibreOffice also features some remote location options itself. The thing is that these don't necessarily work all that well, so like I said, these don't work that well right now. LibreOffice is not young. Let's see how old it is. It's 13 years old. This is some of the things they should have worked on from the get-go. I'm sorry to say it. This is a thing. I know most home users are not going to use it, but most home users are not going to use a standalone, downloadable, installable Office suite. They're going with online stuff. You may do it, but you're not the minority, okay? Or majority, sorry. You're not the majority. This is something I've dealt with for 20 years. I actually, like when it comes to Office software, I've dealt with that for 20 years. I've had a lot of people with Office software, both in companies and privately, and students and what have you not. This is something I actually, know about. I went to school for Office work, or Microsoft Office, SharePoint, and stuff like that long time ago, but I have some courses in this fucking shit, believe it or not. But this feature here should have worked 10 years ago. Because this is a feature that is super important. The customers that is the target audience, and also the people that are going to potentially spend money and or develop an effort for LibreOffice, the corporate world. Most home users are not going to support LibreOffice financially or by coding. It's going to be companies, it's going to be offices, it's going to be people where their financial situation are heavily depending on LibreOffice. It's like this on Windows, Mac OS, any OS. The biggest contributors, the biggest supporters of any software is the corporate world. The reason why we have a lot of nice shit on Windows is because a lot of companies have pushed Microsoft
or given Microsoft a lot of money or helped Microsoft getting something to work.
Results may vary. Now, one thing should be said. Collaborative working at the same time is currently not supported. However, in Calc, it is already possible via
And I'm going to stop again. This is also a feature that should have been some of the first thing they work on. I don't know how Linux users still think today that the biggest contribution or help is going to come from some little fucking inbred idiot in a basement that have never gone outside, that likes Linux because whatever reasons. The world works in a commercial way. It's all about give and take. Nobody in this earth, let me rephrase that, most people in this earth don't do anything unless it's benefiting them in some way. Most people. There are leeches out there, but most people, they want, it's a commodity-driven world, let me put it that way. If you want something to succeed, if you want something to be successful, you need to cater to the audience that will give you the best chance of it. LibreOffice, Office suites, listen, Office is for big businesses. It's for businesses. It's also for, but it's mostly for businesses. And this is the ass way a lot of Linux developers go about things. They work on the nice to have things first, and then they're like, why is nobody using our software? Why is nobody adopting open source? Why is it only the home users that are not supporting us or giving us donations or contributing the code that are using our software? It's because you don't make software, in most cases, sadly enough, that makes sense in the corporate world. I use LibreOffice at work. Yeah, and I have fucking issues. Why do I use LibreOffice at work? Because I asked 6 months ago to get a license for Microsoft to download it. They have not given it to me yet. Busy job, a lot is going on, and I don't really use Office that often. If I go like Monday and say I really fucking need this, they will give it to me Monday. But I rarely use Office anyway. So I use LibreOffice and I deal with the bullshit and compatibility issues that LibreOffice give me.
Experimental setting, so we might actually get to see it soon. As for the rest,
I hope.
Sure, LibreOffice is not as powerful as Microsoft Office, especially when set files are transferred over to someone else. However, LibreOffice can be quite powerful.
Which is, again, what a lot of people do. Even home users are sharing files with each other. Just think about that.
Powerful as of itself. It technically also could run some Visual Basic macros from Microsoft products, but for once support is not all that great, and I generally advise against the use of macros anyway, since they can be used for phishing attacks. Anyway, once you've set up your menus and toolbars, as well as adjusted your icon theme and the tabbed view, then LibreOffice is actually not half that bad. It's not as polished and modern looking, and it does require a certain workflow.
Again, this is another issue I have. Oh, this is good enough. This is not that bad. What if I told you, I suspect you're living in a somewhat decent place right now. Some of you may not, and I feel sorry if that's the case, but a lot of people that are watching this video probably live in a really cozy place right now, either at home, with their family, or their parents, or something like that. What if I told you that you should move because reasons? Just you should not live there because it's too proprietary, it's too locked down. You don't have the same freedom. But over here you can run around naked, swing your dick around, you can have your tits swinging around, move over. But it's not as comfortable as where you live right now. It's not as good. The plumbing is a little bit, it may work, may not work. One day you may have cold water, one day you may only have hot water. Maybe the toilet don't work all the time, and yeah, fixing it's probably better if you fix it yourself, because we don't really know when someone is coming and fixing it for you. It could be the next day or next month or next year. We can't really guarantee that. But it's cheaper and you have more freedom. You like I said, you can run around with a beer on your belly, on your dick, and eating a fucking lamb chop in the open, and nobody gives a fuck. That's not a good sell. Yes, you have more freedom. It's cheaper to live there, but it's not as good as what you have right now. And this is the problem I have with almost every open source software. Not only are they trying to copy proprietary software in all the bad places, or in the worst way, like they're focusing on the wrong crowd for the most part. They are also going into the mentality that, okay, if it's just almost as good, people will change. No, for people to change to LibreOffice, for most people to change to LibreOffice, you have to get out of the mindset, like I said before, that the license matter. It don't. You also have to get out of the mindset that the price matter. It don't. We all know there are ways of getting proprietary software without paying for it. Like, if you really want a proprietary software, you can get it up and running without, spending either a lot of money or no money at all. So in reality, the price is not really that big of an issue either. If you want people to switch to LibreOffice, it has to be better than what is already existing. He can make LibreOffice look identical to Microsoft Office. It could even support Microsoft Office formats 100%. But if we don't have the same features, that's where the issue is. Linux developers, they focus a lot on the wrong features. This is a copium video from a Linux YouTuber. That's all I can say. See you all later. Bye bye.